Last time in part one of Fallen Angels, we introduced the allegory of the war in heaven and how Lucifer led a rebellion against God and the angels fell. Okay, and so this became sort of written into the Judeo-Christian tradition, even though there's not much in the Bible that would suggest any of that. And this is again a way of trying to explain through allegory, through poetic justice, if you will, the ineffable of the unknowable parts of the universe, the macrocosmos. So, in order to understand how these fallen angels affect us as the first type of demon, we have to also break down what really is happening. And there's better models than using those kinds of ancient allegories for the modern mind. You know, we have psychology now, we have physics, we have quantum mechanics. There's a better language for discussing this and understanding what is really happening here when people have a spiritual illness like this. That we would refer to traditionally as possession or obsession or oppression. And we'll get into those categories later on in this series. But when we talk about fallen angels, we have to get back to Yetzer Hara, and I mentioned that last time as well. This proclivity within humanity to do the wrong thing, the proclivity to do evil, okay, which is usually the result of self-interested motivations, egocentrism at its worst. When you have these algorithms out there in the program of the universe, one that's in charge of very highly sophisticated energy patterns that are in charge of creation, and one that's in charge of reabsorption, that creates sort of the energy system of the 0-point energy that kind of makes the universe exist and keeps it consistent. Our interactions with the creative principle, which would be what we would understand to be the traditional angels, the saints of the kingdom of heaven that we would understand to be there in the church triumphant, because we're beings of creation, we're modeled after the energy pattern of creation, we relate to, we're compatible with that energy, so we see those things as good. But that Yetzer Hara aspect, which does not belong there, that's the fallen part of man, has a way of distorting the interactions that we have with the reabsorption principle. And that creates the archetypal form of a demonic fallen angel that can then consume us if we let it. And that's what they really are. That's the truth of them. But theologically, they are the angels that rebelled against God. Metaphysically, they're energy patterns, very sophisticated ones that are not compatible with our well-being or our nature.